What's up, everyone? How is everyone doing today? I hope that we can get this blessed week off to an incredible start here in SchuZ Views. I'm your host, Zach Shoemaker, and I'm excited to welcome you to the 7th episode of SchuZ Views. I'm here in Gilbert, Arizona, and later on the show, Kansas Jayhawk Mitch Lightfoot will join the show. There's some special things that we have to get into today that I think everyone will enjoy. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Now you guys are well aware that the NBA playoffs are on this way. But, with that being said, the other teams that are not in the playoffs are going through some shuffling in terms of the front office and coaching staffs. That's what I'm going to get into right now with the first topic. We're going to start with Sacramento, as they've already found their new man in Luke Walton to take over the Sacramento Kings and bring them to the promised land. I've talked about this a few times now. They have now fired Dave Joerger, 39-win season, which has impressed me after having a very disappointing beginning of the season. I was not a big fan because of him benching Marvin Bagley. But overall, he got a 30-win season with a very young team, one of the youngest teams in the NBA, in fact. And they were the first outside of the playoffs in the Western Conference. Now, hiring Luke Walton, I said this originally. I said, Vlade Divac, since he got promoted to a higher role and has more power, that the fact that he's firing Dave Joerger, he has to have a plan set up right now to go get his man. And that was shown. He hired Luke Walton a day after Luke Walton was fired from the LA Lakers, and I'm a huge fan of this. I believe having Luke Walton, a young coach, out of the LA spotlight, actually thinks he had a lot of potential. He's a solid coach. And I thought maybe he'd wait a year or so to get his next job opportunity, but clearly now is the time. I'm excited to see what he does with this young core. I think he's the perfect hire. I couldn't be more happy about a hire for Luke Walton and for the Sacramento Kings. I cannot wait to see what Marvin Bagley, De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Barnes, Harry Giles, if Willie Cauley-Stein stays, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and so on continue to do. Oh, and don't forget Frank Mason. I'm excited to see where the team goes. This is a special team right here, and I believe that they got the right man for the job. There couldn't really be a much better opportunity there. Next job is Memphis. They fired J.B. Bickerstaff. Also, the GM, Chris Wallace, has been assigned to scouting duty. I'm not really sure on this. They had up and down seasons. Obviously, they lost Marc Gasol midseason. Mike Conley beginning the first half of the season was coming back from an injury. Triple J was out for the second half of the season for most of the part. They kept trading with pieces, got Justin Holiday, a solid player. Point is, I have to say this. J.B. Bickerstaff's a solid coach. I'm not sure if he's a head coach. They need to find the right man. I think this draft would be crucial. Finding someone, if they can find a way to, I don't believe they have their pick depending on where it falls. I believe it goes to Boston. But Memphis has the potential to be a very, very good team. They're a terrific young core with Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. I love him. Ivan Rabb got skills. Javion Carter showed up the last game there. And the last game of the season, he also played solid throughout the rest of the year. The other young core pieces, but to have Triple J and potentially a man such as Ja Morant, Jarrett Culver, R.J. Barrett would be special, and that would be the perfect scenario. That's what they need to do. That's exactly where I'm saying Memphis needs to go find a guy that can be a young coach that can go with them and ignite them. I'm not sure that is. If it's a college coach, I'm not always a big fan of college guys going up to the NBA, but there are other players. I'm not sure what Dwayne Wade will do. I'm going to get into that during SchuZ Zone. I have a special thing that I believe will happen actually with Dwayne Wade. But there are certain players that just retired. They could be, the other coach, I'm not sure exactly who he is. It's not going to be necessarily just a destination point where someone plans on going. They don't have a Giannis like Coach Bud was able to go to Milwaukee. But they need to find the right GM to draft the right guy in this draft class and make a good offseason and find the right head coach. Next up, Cleveland. They have a good young player, and that is Colin Sexton. I'm a big fan. I don't know if Clutch necessarily fits this young core timeline. Larry Nance is a good player, I'm sure. I'm not sure if he fits it. C.D. Osman is a solid player. Z just showed up sometimes this season. I'm going to see what they do with Marquise Chris, but there is a player that they need to go get a top player in this draft that can fit Colin Sexton. Someone that is not necessarily ball-dominant point guard, so that's not John Morant. A Zion would be a perfect scenario, but I also think that someone like R.J. Barrett would perfectly go with him. It would be perfect for them. Also, you gotta think, speaking up on this real quick, Boston, they're going to lose a lot of people this year. They don't have the money to retain everyone. That being said, I do think that this season has been comical. The first game of the playoffs was horrible. 84-74, I believe. Not acceptable. But they have a lot of picks. Cleveland does have their pick, though. They mutually parted ways with Larry Drew that took over after they fired Lou Williams at the beginning of the season. Obviously, they were tanking. It's not much you could do. Love was at the majority of the year. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Kevin Love this summer. But that head coach needs to be someone that knows how to ignite a young core. they can start getting them going. I think Colin Sexton is a tough, rough kind of guy. He wants a hard coaching. This is going to be a special team. I truly do want to see what they do with Cleveland and who they hire to go out. I have all faith in Kobe Altman. I know him personally. He's been a great person for me. Kobe Altman, he knows what he's doing. Trust me. The amount of picks he's been able to accumulate, the amount of different trades he's done has been perfect. Couldn't do a better job. He's done a fabulous job out in Cleveland. I'm excited to see who he hires. I truly do believe that someone like an assistant coach out for one of the San Antonio, Ettore, I believe Messiani from San Antonio is one of the top guys I believe that they could potentially go grab. They always have a top guy that always is a big coaching option. Once again, they have him. There's many options once again. We'll see what happens. That's what I'm going to say about Cleveland. Lakers. Of course, I think I've said all 7 episodes I've now talked about the LA Lakers. You can't avoid them. They fired Luke Walton. I believe that was happening. That's pretty obvious. Obviously, I talked about Magic Johnson in my last episode. And that's okay. Luke Walton was not cut off for this job. I think I talked about that many times. He was too young. He was drafted in the same class as LeBron James. How is your best player supposed to respect you if he's older than you and drafted and you didn't accomplish what he did at the same time? No. They need a guy that he will be able to talk to and he'll be able to be a leader with and respect the coaches. And there's 3 guys I believe they already have contact with. There's other guys, possibly Jacque Vaughn, others I'm hearing rumors of. But right now they have requested interviews with Monty Williams, Juan Howard, and Tyronn Lue. Let's go down this. Monty Williams, I'm a huge fan of. I want this man to get a head coaching job so badly. He did an incredible job, and I believe it was unbelievable that when New Orleans let him go. He was a great coach for them, was developing Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday to an amazing level, and they let him go. I'm not a fan of that. I believe that we all know what happened to him and his family, and the strong man of God that he is, and I support Monty Williams with everything. He's an amazing father figure. He's everything that anyone could wish for, and he's someone I believe needs a head coaching job. I don't know if LA is the right spot for him. I'm excited to see if he does get that job, he'll do an amazing job. Somewhere like Memphis or Cleveland would be a great spot, especially Memphis. That being said, next option is Howard. Obviously, he's been with Miami a long time. He knows how to win games. He's been involved for a very long time. I'm a big fan of him. Juwan Howard, he deserves a head coaching job as well at some point. Don't know if this is here. Tyronn Lue. Out of these options, I believe he's the best, most qualified fit because of the fact he was with LeBron James and won a championship and was a Laker. Although, I do like new things, I don't know if he's the perfect coach. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to say over and over again. There's got to be a way to get Doc Rivers. Jerry West is the most respectable president. Guys, he's built the Memphis Grit team. He's built the Golden State Warriors. Now he's drafted fabulous and started a great group now in LA Clippers. But I don't think I'm going to get rid of Doc Rivers, but I would try everything to get him. He'd be the perfect dream coach. I want LeBron to be a great coach. Or go ahead and try getting Eric Spoelstra. I think Pat Riley's going to come to an end at some point. Someone like Eric Spoelstra is one of the most respectable champion coaches that also coached LeBron James, and he knows what he's doing. I don't know if the Miami will let him go, but if I am the LA Lakers, I'm trying to get one of those 2 men. That's what I got to say about LA. Chicago Bulls extended Jim Boylan. Huge fan of that. He gained my respect. Originally, people were making a big deal. He's too hard on the players. He's running them out. Jawari Parker doesn't want to play. Yada, yada, yada. You know, he's got rid of soft players. He wants the hardcore players. That's why you got the guys that's left right now. And this young core is special. He earned the respect of all those players I've talked about countless times with Zach LaVine, with many others. Huge fan of this extension. Couldn't go to a better man that deserves it. Minnesota Timberwolves, I've talked about a little bit. It's up to the new president if he's going to retain Saunders and the GM there on Minnesota, Scott Layden. I'm fine with it. I think Ryan Saunders for sure needs to stay. I don't see how they don't keep him. I guess, once again, give him a summer with Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. They will have an observed team. They have an elite young core there. That's what I want to say about them. They have a very great young core. Wiggins, I love Wiggins. You guys know that. I still believe he has the potential to be an elite player. 18 points a game still. That is not no bust. That is not nothing. He's still young. He's 23, 24 years old. He's got time coming. He's got to grow into and finally have a coach that he can stick with. Through his first years, he had a guy that he truly put everything with and truly made a great thing. Flip Saunders, Ryan Saunders' dad. We know what happened. Tragically passed away from cancer. Moved in was the interim. Then you had Tom Thibodeau. That's a brand new coach. That's 3 straight years of having new people. Then you have Jimmy Butler. We know that. I knew that was going to work out there. Same position, same kind of game. Why put them on the same team? Didn't work out well. Had all this last summer having to deal with that drama. Now you got another new coach through the whole year. Let's see him go to the offseason, see what the occurrence is, see what goes down. Give Wiggins time to develop. He's still coming around. Trust me, keep him. The GM part's up to them. I can't wait to see they have the president. Now, New Orleans Pelicans hired David Griffin to run that front office, and obviously the key thing we all know is he's going to make the big trade. The Anthony Davis trade will be done this summer. I can guarantee you. I believe Anthony Davis will go to Boston Celtics. I will have an offseason preview later on after the playoffs. We're going to discuss this all. But he has the job of making the big deal with David Griffin. We'll be getting the big deal done with Anthony Davis. He did say he plans on keeping Alvin Gentry, which I agree with. He's a solid coach. Not great, but he's a very solid, very good coach. David Griffin, though. He built a championship team in Cleveland. I don't believe he should have been fired. Yes, Kobe Altman's been great. It turned out to be great, but he didn't deserve to be fired. He's an amazing general manager, front office person. Very high likeliness for him. Very, very big fan of him. Obviously, replacing Dell Demps, which got fired. That's what I gotta say about this. There's gonna be a big moves here. We'll see if they move Holiday as well. There's lots of big decisions. He's gonna reconstruct the whole team and have lots of pieces. Moving Anthony Davis has to take a lot of work to do, and has to be a very hard job to move a player of his caliber. But you gotta realize you're gonna get a very good young piece and very good offers. Phoenix Suns. Valley of the Sun have officially named James Jones their new GM. No longer interim. Buxton will be Trevor Buxton. Know him, talked to him personally many times along with James Jones. Trevor's been a great influence for me. He knows the salary cap. He's an expert on that. He's great at figuring out the trade money and legal issues behind that. He'll be perfect there. Adding Jeff Bauer to the front office brings a lot more leadership. Continue adding pieces. I think they need one or two other big front office guys to assert leadership in that place. And we'll see what Robert Sarver does. He seems to be making the right move so far. Here's the thing. I'm going to drop a bomb for you guys right now. I don't believe that Igor Kokoskov will be remaining the head coach starting next season. I believe that, yes, once again, another coach will be hired for the Phoenix Suns. Getting used to it, yes, we all are. But, excuse me if I say this, he's not the best coach for this team. I'm not a big fan of what he did. Yeah, he could win something. No. You gotta realize it's almost impossible to win over a new reign of front office people to keep your job as a coach. James Jones did not hire him. Yes, he was in the front office, but he didn't hire him. That was Ryan McDonough. That's who hired him. Not James Jones, not this crew, not Bauer, not Trevor, none of them. They were involved, but they didn't hire him. That's not their pick. They got to go after someone that can develop them. They got to go get that guy, that coach that's a leader and a true guy. And wait. Don't hire him in the first week after finding a coach. Go in there, execute, and find a coach. They have lots available overseas. Lots of other guys are available still. There's lots of good coaches you guys can go try getting. Once again, maybe Monty Williams there. Maybe not. We'll see. Always get someone to get. Don't be hiring. Go hire a big name guy that can get them to go. Get someone that can lead Booker. Go draft the right guy at point guard with Oubre, with DeAndre. You guys know how special I think this team is. Mikal, so on. Make them move to get rid of Josh. Cause I love Josh Jackson. He's a great player, but I don't think Phoenix is done right. He's getting replaced now, and I think Josh has potential to be a very good, if not all-star kind of caliber player, but it's not in Phoenix. I love you, Josh, but I know this is not the right place for you. There's many places. Maybe it's in New Orleans. Maybe there's other places. They have to go get that kind of guy, okay? Next up, this is not official, but this is my opinion. Talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not a big fan of college coaches getting promoted to the NBA. It doesn't happen very often. Doesn't work. It happens very often, but it doesn't work very often. Billy Donovan, solid coach. I don't think he's equipped for this. If Oklahoma City Thunder lose in the first round of the NBA playoffs this year, Billy Donovan will not be a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He will not be. He will be fired and let go. This Thunder team has no excuse for losing the first round. There's no excuse for being the 6th seed. You have 2 All-Stars, 2 superstars, I should say. Sorry. You have Steven Adams, Jeremy Grant, one of the best men off the bench, Dennis Schroeder, Marquise Morris, I know, was a big addition. Patrick Patterson never executed him well. Yes, you don't have Andre Roberson, but stuff's got to get done now. Stuff's got to get done. Okay? I think, personally, he should be fired either way unless they go to the championship. That's my opinion. It's not going to happen. You're not beating Golden State. I don't think they're going to get out of this round. Lost to Portland today. They have to make the right move and get a coach that can coach them. I don't know if it's Scott Brooks again. Bring him in. Bring him in. Frank Vogel, we'll see if it's time for him to come back. There's many other options. You just got to find the right guy for Westbrook and Paul George. Those guys know how to play together. They're special. You just need to know how to draft them. Sam Presti is one of the best guys at drafting, finding talent. He's got to find a coach. Scott Brooks was great, but this is not good. Not good at all. That's what I gotta say about these coaching changes. Of course, stay up to date. I'll give nightly updates now, especially with the games going on. Every night I plan on getting some kind of update of the season, how it's going down, what's going down on my YouTube channel, Instagram TV, Twitter, everything. Go check it out. I'll be continuing updating. Also, next week on the Monday episode, I'll be getting into it with Jason Harris. Let's talk about that. But if there's any more coaching stuff you guys would know about it, check my Twitter, see what else I say about it. But this is what I got so far. These are your teams. Lots of big shuffling happening. Front offices, head coaches. Check it out. It's big time right now. The new year is coming next year. Let's get it going. If I were you, I wouldn't be going anywhere because the one and only Mitch Lightfoot is coming up next. Do not miss it as he talks about the Kansas Jayhawks and his career so far as a Jayhawk. It's going to be a special one. It's truly a great honor to be able to welcome the former 4-star number and the heart, soul, and energy of Kansas Jayhawks, my friend Mitch Lightfoot. How are you doing today, Mitch?
Doing good. Had a little workout this morning. Got some homework going on.
All right.
Played a couple of games of Fortnite. Got a dub just now prior to this call, so I'm feeling good.
That's good. So let's get into the first question then. How quickly did it take you to want to commit to Kansas once they offered you your scholarship?
For me, it was pretty immediate.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Self called me when I was at Perry High. I was playing at Perry High School. No, was it Perry? No, it was Higley. I was playing at Higley High School, some pickup with my friends, and Coach called me. I missed his call, actually, so he left me a voicemail. Still have the voicemail to this day. And called him back. He offered me, and kind of had an idea on where I wanted to go ever since then.
I mean, I know definitely growing up in Kansas has been probably a dream of yours, too.
Yeah, for sure. Having that Jayhawk mentality from birth, really. All my family is real hardcore Jayhawk fans. So
for sure.
Just being able to go to KU and live out my dream, as I like to say, is pretty special.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so, what are some of like your funniest stories or funnest stories about being at Kansas so far?
Funnest stories or Dang, I would say it's pretty hard to say just like one instance that's happened, but I would have to say it's got to do with being around my teammates on a daily basis. There's so many small things that people that aren't a part of the program might not be able to pick up on. I mean, for example, like I think probably one of the funniest guys on the team is Udoka. People don't even know it because like you would think he's a pretty quiet guy, stays to himself, but once you get to know him, he's a comedian. We were the other day we were getting ready to go into lifting, and he was walking back with me from lift, and we were talking about the Rick Ross coming to KU football, and we were talking about it. And next thing we hear is Doak yelling, "Oh!" like Rick Ross does. It's pretty funny.
Wow. So, also, what's one of the favorite things that fans have done for you? I mean, there's been the Prison Mitch, there's been songs, there's posters. What's probably your favorite thing that fans have done?
I'm a huge fan of the Prison Mitch. I think that's great because I watch The Office, and Prison Mike is what it's from. But that's pretty awesome. Seeing the posters with the headband on is pretty funny. But I would probably have to say like just seeing people with my jersey on and getting to connect with them, because at the end of the day I'm just another guy like them, except I got blessed with the talent of playing and being able to play with my height and my athleticism. Shout out my mom and my dad for that. But I'm just really thankful to be in this position, and I'm just like them. I had the fortunate ability to play this game.
For sure. So when was the first time you saw the Prison Mitch?
First time I saw Prison Mitch, I'm pretty sure I saw there was who was it we played? It might have been K-State. I knew there was talks of it last year, but no one really acted upon it.
Yeah.
So I think the first time I saw it acted upon was after our K-State game at K-State this year, and then it really hit the ground running and took off, and the rest is history. Shout out to all the fans for that.
Which one of the Prison Mitch types was like your favorite one? I mean, it's constantly evolving, different tattoos, different color headband, all that kind of stuff nonstop. Which type was your favorite one?
the original one's pretty good, just
Mm-hmm.
because it was from the jump. I mean, if you watch The Office, you understand. But I think the second one, just when he got involved with the tattoos, was probably one of my
Yeah.
favorite additions.
Mm-hmm. So what player mentored or helped you the most when you first got there? Still is helping you.
Um, for which player helped me the most when I first got
Mm-hmm.
here? I would say I learned a lot from Landon Lucas. He did a great job of helping me adjust to the way the game is and how it's played and the speed. Um, but I would have to say him and Devontae.
Mm-hmm.
Those two did a real good job of making me understand what it's like to play at this level and what I need to do to be successful at this level. And that's what I try and help our younger guys
Mm-hmm.
understand to
For
this day.
sure. Are there any like former Jayhawks that ever come in and help you guys out, and has any of them reached out to you specifically?
There's a bunch of guys that come out and support the
Mm-hmm.
Jayhawks, but just me specifically, I would have to say, I mean, this is kind of like my mentor, Greg Gurley. He played here back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. Played with some great players. He himself is a great player,
Mm-hmm.
so
For sure.
just being able to learn from him, not only basketball, just life in general, is something that I truly value, and it gives me some leadership and some way to progress my
All
game.
right, that's awesome. And what player have you modeled your game around the most?
Model my game
I mean, it
around
could
the
be
most.
professional, college. I mean, just from high school on, who is like someone you've always wanted to be like?
Um, I would have to say that I wanted to be. I like, I mean, since we're KU talking
Mm-hmm.
KU, I really appreciate how Jamari Traylor played the game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did a great job of showing what it means to play as a Jayhawk. Someone that really gives it their all every time they step onto the court. Um, that's something that I value. You might not be the most talented on the court. Lord knows I'm not. There's a lot of guys that are out there that are better than me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna try hard, give it my all every time I step on the court.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I felt he did, and I mean Travis Relaford does that. There's a bunch of guys at Kansas that do that so good.
For sure.
So that's why those kind of players are players that I truly admire.
Yeah, I mean, I actually had it down too. That's one play I've always talked about and said that. I mean, you remind me the most because when I went to Kansas camp a couple of years ago, like I think I was going into seventh grade. Trailer was it was one of the Jayhawk camps, and Trailer was my coach actually. And that's when I was like, I watched him. I love watching him. He was a great player, obviously. And that's what I've always thought. I mean, you always go out there, give it your all. You sacrifice your body, dive on the floor. I mean, all the stuff exactly how Trailer did. And I mean, truly, Trailer, you guys are like the glue to teams that just help the team win games when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I mean it's important to good teams have players that are willing to sacrifice themselves for the team.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just thankful to be even listed with those guys because they have some pretty impressive resumes, and hopefully I can finish up my career here going into my senior year similar to how they did.
Hmm. So talking about that, what would be one part of your game that you'd like to add on for your senior year?
Um, for me, I just want to become more confident shooting the ball.
Hmm.
There's a lot of different aspects that I'm working on, but more confidence shooting the ball and helping our team stretch the floor.
Hmm. And then in terms of your goal for your senior year, like what would be one area of the game that you'd specifically like love to say you want to get better at in terms of like if it's more points, if it's rebounds, if it's steals, blocks, like something like that. Is there something that you really want to set a goal for yourself for senior year?
Um, I think points, blocks, all that's great and all, but at the end of the day, I want to become a better leader.
Hmm.
I hope because I feel like that's something that this coming team we're gonna need.
Hmm.
Um, we have a bunch of great guys. We're gonna have to bring it all together and make sure it all works out.
For
So,
sure.
me being a leader is going to be something I focus heavily
Hmm.
upon.
And then in terms of your team, I mean, I know this the piece is going to be keep coming and going in terms of Jayhawks for this next year. But as the core guys, you, I know Ochi, if Dotson does come back and all, what would be like your guys' priority goal to of this next season?
Obviously we want to win the Big 12 that got away from us last year. That's still pretty fresh in our
Mm-hmm.
minds. We can't let one become two. We got to go out there and play our game like we know we can. And if we do that, I think we'll be in a good place. Me personally, I want to leave this place off better than I got it, than I got here with it. There's whether that be us winning the Big 12 or taking us to another Final Four.
For sure.
Really special, and I'm going to give it my all to hopefully accomplish that, because I know from being there, that's one of the best experiences that basketball can offer you. There's nothing quite like
sure.
it.
And so once you're done playing at Kansas, have you thought about what you want to do? Is it the NBA, G League overseas, or some other kind of profession away from basketball?
For me, probably playing overseas for a little bit. Obviously, I want to play at the highest level I can, but I want to play. I've also wanted to travel the world. I think overseas would be a perfect opportunity for me to do so. There's a couple of different things that I have opportunities to do. I just need to make sure I make the best choice for me and my family. So whether that be overseas or in the NBA, I'm just going to do whatever's best for me and my family.
For sure. Would you want to be a player? Have you ever thought about possibly being a coach or any other aspect of the game?
Yeah, being a coach, I just want to be around the game of basketball as long as I can. Whether that be a coach, somebody that helps people train. There's a bunch of different things that can help me help others around basketball.
For sure. And so, since you've been able to play with two of the all-time great point guards, in Frank Mason and Graham, how would you say that those two leadership skills and the way they led a team were different?
I would say Frank did more by his actions. I wouldn't say more, but he was more action oriented. You follow his lead from what he does, like on the court. Devontae would call you up, talk to you, coach you through that off the court, on the court. It didn't really matter with him. He was gonna be there for you. So there's subtle differences. There's different ways to lead,
For sure.
And I think they both did a good job of doing it.
And so that leads me to my next part then. So obviously Devon Dotson, a lot of people keep talking about how great of a point guard he is, especially for a freshman. So what characteristics of Frank Mason and Graham do you see in Devon Dotson?
I think he's, first off, from like a physical standpoint, he's speedy, fast. That reminds me of Frank.
For sure.
And how he can get past people and get downhill to the basket and crafty finishes. I think that's a similar part of his game. But also at the same time, he can shoot the ball. Both Frank and Devontae could do that. His leadership skills are developing. You can see towards the end of last year, he was really coming out and showing that ability to take over a game and lead his team. So I'm super excited to see how he does this next year. The kid, hopefully it's back here with the Jayhawks, but I know the kid's just going to do whatever he's going to do, what's best for him and his family, and that's all we want for him. So I'm just super excited. Hopefully I get to play with him another year.
For sure. I know it's a lot of people that keep talking about Devon and Grimes and Lawson committing. And yeah, that's sad. To obviously not have those guys, be able to watch them. But in my opinion, it's great to see them make it to the next level, because that's what they've always dreamed of, and they're always going to still be a Jayhawk forever. So just seeing what they do that's what, at the end of the day, that's the best part about seeing Jayhawks in the NBA too.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you. I think it's where fans get down on players for reaching for their dreams. I think is something kind of selfish. Get the Jayhawks to where we need to be, and I think they deserve some credit for that.
Sure.
They deserve a lot of credit for that. Without them, we wouldn't have without the players, we wouldn't have the organization we do today. Obviously, we have great coaching, great players. So for them to be able to have the ability to help their families is awesome.
And that's the best part about Kansas too. There's always great players that keep coming. It's not like a lot of schools, in fact, that they lose a great player and it's true they may not see another great player 5-10 years. Here it's at least we're going to constantly get to see new people that we always fall in love with by the end of the season.
Yeah, that's the great part of having great coaches is they do great jobs of recruiting. We learn from our coaches who give us new ways to challenge ourselves on and off the court, whether that be as players and as men. They've done a great job.
For sure. All right, so now there's 5 more quick questions. What the first one will be? What's the toughest player and toughest team you've ever played against while at Kansas?
Toughest player and toughest team. Um, there's a lot of tough teams in the Big 12. There's a lot of teams that have the ability to change the game with their toughness, their ability to rebound the ball, play defense. But I would have to say Villanova's. We played them in the Final Four last year. It was probably one of the toughest teams I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They shot the ball well. They were poised. They had leadership. So all those things combined made them truly a deadly team.
And then, I mean, speaking up also on that part, I mean, Villanova was the team that, I mean, you guys just came out from beating Duke and a lot of people thought would probably be the champions. I mean, having Marvin, Wendell, I mean, so when you guys were able to go in there and beat them, and then obviously Villanova just brought it to another level. I mean, I think they surprised a lot of people just because they weren't a big name, but they, like you said, they had the leadership and the skill like that.
Yeah, they offered the leadership, the ability to shoot the ball. They shot the ball really well. They were really well coached. So there's a bunch of things that they did right and a bunch of things that we needed to change and we didn't. But that team was a great team and hats off to them.
What would you say would be the toughest player you played against?
There've been a lot of good players. Toughest player I played against. I think Jarrett Culver this year was real tough. Just because how he led his team. But I would have to say his teammate Matt Mooney. I had the utmost respect for him. He transferred in there and did a great job of really leading his team and giving them the ability to win by handling the ball, shooting the ball, being a senior leader. So that was something that I respected.
For sure. So this one might be a tough one, but who would you say are the top 5 all-time Jayhawks?
Top 5 all-time Jayhawks. Obviously, got to have Wilt in there. Obviously, I mean Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
You got Wilt, Paul Pierce. Wilt, Paul Pierce. I think you got to have Mario in there.
Yeah.
Because of obviously
miracle.
Mario's miracle. I mean, he's got to be in that discussion.
Manning.
Manning. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I know.
I mean, it's so hard to just say one player or 5 players. That I think Frank has the ability to be in that discussion too. So I mean, and Devontae. So
yeah.
There's just so many players. I mean, it's so hard to really determine who's best.
For sure. I mean, that goes back to the other thing. I mean, KU always has nonstop great players. I mean, you got Perry Ellis. I mean, the T-Rob and the Twins. I mean, Aldridge, Collison. I mean, they keep coming. I mean, that's the best part of being a Jayhawk.
Yeah, you said that 100% right. There's no other place that has the tradition, players similar to how we do, and that's just a blessing to be able to play here. And I think we all understand that as Jayhawks that this is truly something special that we get to be a part of.
For sure. And so my next question would be, if you could go and play with any other Jayhawk team that you did not play on, obviously, what team would that be on?
Shoot. I think I would have to say the 2008 national championship team. I mean, that's what you come to Kansas to do, is play for champion. And that's something that I hopefully can be a part of. One more year to do that, and I'm gonna give it my all to hopefully do that. But that's why I'd probably have to say them. Yeah, the 2008 national championship team.
Speaking of that, also, would there be any other player you'd want to specifically play with, any other Jayhawk player, or your favorite one, I guess?
Favorite one. I admire Jeff Withey, Nicole Aldrich. Those 2 guys really gave it their all every night.
For sure.
And those 2 guys I admire.
So then, who would you say would be your favorite NBA player, current and all time, non-Jayhawk?
Non-Jayhawk favorite NBA player, current all time. There are so many people. I would have to go probably. I mean, you want to play with the best, Mike and LeBron. those two guys they're the two best of all time. I won't get into who's better. I think you talk about that for hours.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those two are the two best of all
For
time.
sure. And then I guess the last thing we talk about too is if you could pick, what would be your dream NBA team to play for?
My dream NBA team to play for, I think the Lakers organization has a great tradition, and their ability to bring in great players year in, year out is something that's truly special.
Mm-hmm. I mean, speaking of that too, that's what when Svi first got drafted there. I mean, first of all, I was happy. I mean, he's one of my favorite all-time guys too. But I mean, he went from probably the most historic, if not the most historic, college to one of the most historic, probably the most historic NBA team as well. I mean, obviously he's in Detroit now, but still.
Yeah, Svi, he got the opportunity to play for the Lakers, which is something special. I know he valued every second he was there.
Mm-hmm.
I still play Fortnite with him to this day. He really enjoys it, and I'm proud to be his teammate, able to play with somebody who is a part of such a cool organization.
For sure. And then my last question I always ask whoever I interview is, how has God helped you the most throughout your basketball and playing career?
There are so many ways he's helped
Mm-hmm.
me. I would have to say just giving me an outlet to go to in times where I might be questioning myself. Just knowing God has a plan for me. There's nothing I can do to change his plan for me. Just keep the faith. And I'd probably say, yeah, just having something I know that is bigger than basketball, that means more to me than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it really puts it all into perspective. You have a bad practice, you have a bad game, but really, does that affect my worth as a human or as a child of God? It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So just that ability to trust my Savior is something that I value.
For sure. I mean, that's when it all comes down to it. He's the one that leads you through every path, no matter what. If it's basketball, sports, business, I mean, he's the person that everyone and anyone can rely on.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Well, it's really been a pleasure having you on here, Mitch, and also having you as a friend. I can't wait to see you where this next season takes you, even though it's sad that it will be your last one. But best of luck, brother. You'll always be welcome to come on the show whenever you'd like. Rock Chalk.
Appreciate it, brother. Rock Chalk.
The NBA and the NBA Player Association might be coming to a deal to possibly allow players to come straight out of high school. Well, my thoughts are next. If I were you, I wouldn't want to miss it. Stay tuned to see what I have to say about it. This past week, we once again were notified that the NBA and the NBA Player Association has been in talks about trying to get the draft eligibility to be moved back to coming out of high school. That being said, it has been talked about for quite some time to allow players to come straight out of high school. My take on this is clear. I believe that it should get done right away. It's going to benefit the NBA and the NCAA dramatically. It needs to get done as soon as possible. That being said, there's not many players that believe they should qualify to come and should try going to the NBA right out of high school. I believe there's one player every year at least to a max of 3 to 5 players. No more than that. I believe that the USA Basketball, someone needs to identify who those players are. Now, the other part of this deal for the NCAA would be players cannot be one and dones. Players must at least stay 2 years in college. I'm okay with that. I believe that the guys that go one and done most likely and should be guys that could have come right out of high school. Now, there are different instances, okay? There's a lot of times that guys rise up and played at a whole nother level when in the freshman year than people ever thought. Trae Young played at a whole nother level. Even guys like Devon Dotson came out and showed up in a whole nother level. Now, does that still mean that they should go? Depends on the player. In my opinion, it goes down to what the player needs. If the player is able to make the league, go to do it. Because you'll be able to secure the bag right away. That's what I got to say about that part. Secure the bag if you're able to. Now, if there's a risk of you not being drafted, I'm not sure if you should go to the NBA. In fact, I don't think you should. If you're told you will be drafted, go. Secure the bag. Nate Newman that comes to mind. I loved him as a Jayhawk, was devastated to see him go. He had an amazing tournament, and obviously he went undrafted. He signed with Miami to a 2-way deal, which was then terminated and he got cut soon and was not able to play in the NBA. Now, he could be coming for a comeback. We don't know. My point is, if you're a junior especially, I don't see why you don't just go for your last year. Unless you go to the point where you're rising your top 10 pick or a lottery pick, stay in college. Might as well get your degree. But I truly do believe that players that stay 2 years tremendously helped them. An example, multiple, Jarrett Culver and John Morant. Brandon Clark also had a massive big-time year this year, but John Morant. This last week, Jerry West, which, as I said earlier in this episode, is one of the most respected front office people, obviously is the logo of the NBA, an all-time great, one of the greatest to ever play, and now turned around has been an amazing front office person. No matter how old he gets, he still is wise and contributes and makes excellent some of the top draft choices in the NBA. Obviously, helped draft Curry, Clay, Draymond, and so on. And that group drafted Mike Conley and Marc Gasol out of Memphis, or traded for Marc Gasol, I believe, yeah. Got to Pau Gasol, did even know that trade. He also did the move, now drafting Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, trading for Landry Shamet, so on and so on. That being said, Jerry said that the best player in the draft is the number 2 overall player, ranked-wise, and that's John Morant. He said that he's the best player, and that he calls him, quote-unquote, he's a miracle type of player. Now that's saying something. The logo, one of the greatest all-time guards, which John Morant is, being told that. A lot of people said John Morant might be able to be drafted last year, wasn't that big of a name. No one really knew him. But listen, now y'all know him. And y'all know how special he is, and you guys know how high I am on him. I truly do believe that skill-wise, he might just be the best player in this draft. That being said, staying 2 years is so beneficial to a player. The amount you just learn, especially in a good program, is incredible. You learn so much playing in every year that you develop. Right now, the high school years, from 7th to 8th grade middle school, to going to high school, to going to college, of course, then going to your next level, professionals, overseas, G League, NBA, so on and so on, it is critical. Up until you get about 24, 25 is when you truly just lock in, and that's pretty much when you're all about the same. But that's what I gotta say. I truly believe that this deal will help everyone because teams will get 2 years of players guaranteed, and the player will be benefited because if you're not a top player and you're not secure in the bag in the NBA right now, then you get those 2 years to develop and become to a whole other level, and that excites people in college as well. Also, I have no problem now with players going overseas, maybe working out for a year or two. Bosa did it in football. Obviously, you got Mitchell Robinson, Terrence Ferguson, Emmanuel Mudiay. The list goes on. Guys doing this year, guys coming up. It's so on and so on. Guys like doing this. It is fine with me. You do what's best for you, and that's it. Obviously, I'm a Jayhawk fan. You guys all know that. And Mitch talked a little bit about it a little bit ago. Someone like Quentin Grimes. He was a top-ranked player, and I respect him. He is a good player. Now, if he's able to get drafted, yes, he did struggle a little bit this year. But if he's able to get drafted, go. You have a Jayhawk forever, and Jayhawk fans need to respect that and say, we can rep him. And when they announce what college they went to, when he's drafted, they say University of Kansas. He will be a Jayhawk for life. Same with Dawson, same with Lawson, but Grimes right now. I truly believe that Grimes comes back for another year, and he develops, he could become a lot more special. He could learn a little bit more. Self's going to edit him and make him more and more like his great guards. Dotson's got the potential to be one of the greatest all-time point guards, I believe, in Kansas Jayhawk history. He comes back. This case, we'll see what happens. He already had a great year as a junior. We'll see. This happens across all different kinds of teams. This being said, I'm going to once again state my fact and my opinion. The NBA, Adam Silver, and the NBA Player Association, headed by Chris Paul, Andre Iguodala, and so on, needs to get together with Adam Silver, needs to get together with the NCAA, and get this deal done ASAP. We need to have the double draft occur. Players can come out of high school if you're deemed elite and will be drafted. I'm saying you're top 5. There's no way anyone will be ranked behind top 5. Those guys can go to high school, otherwise you're staying into college for 2 years. I think that's just going to be a great instance that's going to help people out. Now, I get it. A lot of these guys don't come from the best places, and they don't have the money to support their family financially. And they should deserve money, and that's where I'm also going to get into this. Players deserve to be paid. I don't know. There's no other way to explain this. Now, do they deserve to be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million or something? No. But in my opinion, it's how it needs to be broken down. Percentages. If you're a college athlete, you deserve to be paid more than just your scholarship. The scholarship is great and all, but listen to this. This is my opinion. Whatever your sports income is, have it be football, basketball, baseball, track and field, cross country, rowing, I don't care what it is. Whatever your sport is, however much revenue that sport can bring into your school, whatever that is. Say some brings in millions and millions and millions, of course, football, basketball. Other sports that are not as popular might bring in a lot less. But whatever that revenue is, the NCAA is sort of set a certain limit. If it's 10, 20, 30%, and that's given down to the players. And of course, that's then broken down to how many players are on the team. Have it be if your football team's 50-some, basketball, whatever. Yes, it's still not a lot of money. But at least they're getting paid money. That's the way the real world works. It's usually a percentage. The NBA and women's NBA, it is a certain percentage of money that players get. And that's what teams are given, and the teams give it. It's like that. It's just how it works. That's how I believe the college needs to be done. Pay the players according to their revenue that they bring in, and a certain percentage that is equally balanced out. For someone like Zion, if he went down, that would have been tragic. Not only for him, it's not being able to watch him play, not for him being able to play the game basketball again, but he's a billion-dollar athlete. I've said that multiple times. It can happen to anyone. It's happened many times. Spencer Dinwiddie at least was able to rejuvenate and revive his career to become an elite player in the NBA. But in college, it could have all slipped away with that torn ACL. It's happened so many different times. So once again, that's what needs to be done. Speaking about money, I do also want to touch up real quickly then on the women's NBA factor. Here's what I have to say about that. Women's players are gifted, and they're getting better and better. Yes, the league is very new, though. When the NBA first opened up, they were not making that much money either. You have to continue to evolve. And listen, these girls are getting a bit. People need to respect the girls' talent more and more. But once all said and done, there's not enough money. They can't be paid NBA players money. It can't be done. NBA money, they get millions of dollars because that's the revenue. It's broken down percentage. They have the same percentage the NBA does in terms of revenue. Now, do I think that more people should be watching women's basketball on TV, especially the playoffs are very good? Watching the draft, watching stuff, yes. I believe they are getting a little bit more respect. Now, people that want to slam them and say that you're better than women's players, no. Heck no, you're not better than. They need their respect. They're elite class girls and women playing this game of basketball. But they have to. It's percentages. They get what their income is. They're not being cheated off by percentages. The more money, the more ticket sales, the more commercials, the more money they can bring in, the more money they'll get. So yes, do I think they should get paid more money? Yes, because I think that more people should be watching them play. They are very good athletes, they're very good players, and they need more and more respect. They need more and more respectable. Sue Bird, Breonna Stewart, Brittany Griner, Asia Wilson, so on and so on. There's so many great women's NBA players. Show the respect to them. Candace Parker, so many of them. I could go down this list forever. There's so many great players. And they need their respect. But no, they're not going to be able to make millions of dollars. Do I think that... And it sucks seeing them like Breonna Stewart really just went down today. Praise for her in her recovery. Go tripling on Brittany Griner overseas. But they have to go play overseas to make their money. That's where they honestly make more money. Season is coming down now over here to women's NBA season again. People need to start showing more and more respect to them. Watch their games. That's how they get their money. Grow like the NBA. It's going to take... In 20, 30 years, I believe they're going to get more and more money. Because that's what it comes down to. That's what they have to have. More people at interest, more money they can make. Now, once again, I don't want any offense taken to any women's players. They are fabulous players. Once again, I want to state that. Women's NBA players are special. There are so many great players. They're great people. Watch them play. But the money will not be there until people start showing respect and watch them play. That's what I got to say with the NCAA, women's NBA, the money, being paid, so on. I want the deal to get done once again with the NBA, NBA Players Association, and NCAA. Let's get it done as soon as possible. This year, if not the latest, 2020, I want the double draft occurring. The first weekend of NBA playoffs is over. It went by just like that, folks. Everyone's got one game in the books. Games resume tomorrow. But what do I have to say about these playoffs? A lot of big games, big upsets. A lot of players impressed me, but a lot of players lost my respect. Let's see what I got to say. Stay tuned. Don't be going anywhere because I'm going to talk about the playoffs from this past weekend. You guys already know what it is. The NBA playoffs have began. Everyone's played one game as of right now. If you guys have caught some of my Instagram TV stories, you guys can see what I've already said about these games. I do go in depth about every single game. But right now I'm going to break down some of this quick little recap of over this past weekend of the tournament. Let's start off with the very beginning. Brooklyn, the very first game, Brooklyn defeated the Philadelphia 76ers 111-102. D'Angelo Levert combined for a big-time 49 points. Dinwiddie also contributed with 18. Jimmy Butler was the only one that showed up with 36 and 9. And as you guys have heard, I am very much against the fact that Joel Embiid did play that game. He had 22 and 15, yes, along with 5 big-time blocks. But his injury might prevent him from playing at a high level the rest of the series or even playing, period, as he might be out for this next game. Very next game, Orlando had a shocker, DJ Augustin showed up big time to earn my respect, and I believe he should earn everyone's respect around the league, in the front office, to fans, to players, everything, as he defeated the Toronto Raptors 104-101 with a big 25-2-6 game. He ended the game winner. Seven guys had double figures for the Orlando Magic. As for the Raptors, they had 25-6 and 3 for Kawhi Leonard. Siakam had a big 24-9-4 in the big storyline that has Twitter and social media going crazy. Had Kyle Lowry having 0 points, 0 for 7 scoring. Another big-time bust in the playoffs for Kyle Lowry and these Toronto Raptors. Next thing, LA Clippers were destroyed by the Golden State Warriors 104-121 in an event where Patrick Beverley, Kevin Durant got into it many times, resulting in them in getting ejected. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continued to show up big time as a rookie. He had 18-5, 1, and 3 blocks. The big duo combined for 51 points. Montrezl Harrell 26-5, 2, 2, and 2. Stuff in the stat sheet. Lou Williams had 25, 3, and 9. Big time game for that bench mob. But the Golden State Warriors, they showed up big time, folks. There is no denying what they got in store. They got another ring coming. It's a three-peat. They got a three-peat coming. 38, 15, and 7 for Steph Curry. KD only had 23 points while getting ejected. Oh, and by the way, Steph Curry has now had the most three-pointers ever made in the NBA playoffs, passing Ray Allen, and he only played 90 games, as opposed to, I believe, 170 by Ray Allen. Draymond had a big 17, 7, and 7 while shooting 7 for 12 from the field. He's back. Boogie Cousins got fouled out, but he showed up. San Antonio versus Denver. I called it. I said San Antonio's winning. San Antonio won 101-96. Disappointing game for Denver's first game back in the playoffs in a while. DeRozan had an 18, 12, and 6. I've told you guys, this young core is something special. I'll get into this more, of course, like I said before, when I got about offseason previews and ratings. But this young core, Derek White, Lonnie Walker's coming. Don't forget about DeJounte Murray. Brayden Forbes showed up with 15 and 5. Derek White is 16 once again, and a big-time poster on Paul Millsap. LaMarcus Aldridge 15 and 8, and Rudy Gay 14 and 6. They got something going. Popovich got them going. I believe they're going to the next round, folks. Denver's not experienced enough to win this series. They are not. Denver's got the skills. They need to reset this team, I believe, in terms of Will Barton, and I don't believe Gary Harris is part of this core. I don't think so. I don't understand why they just. I believe they're overpaid. I love Malik Beasley. Michael Porter Jr. is coming in. I believe the lineup should be Jamal Murray, Malik Beasley, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic at the center, and that 4 spots. We'll see what happens if it's Millsap getting another young guy. That opens up times for Monte Morris to officially be the young backup. You've got guys like Juancho Hernan-Gomez and so on and so on. Now, Jokic did have a triple-double, the 4th player ever to open in the playoff debut to have a triple-double. Will Barton had 15 and 10. Gary Harris had his best game in a very long time at 20 points, and Jamal Murray at 17. As of today, let's get into it. Or Sunday, Indiana versus Boston, a very disappointing game, 74-84. With Boston Celtics won. Boston outscored them 26-8 in the third quarter in a big-time comeback. There wasn't really. It was disappointing, in my opinion. Boston's not winning it, folks. They're not contenders. 84 points? Really? Corey Joseph had 14, and Bogdanovich had 12. That's nothing that impressive. 74 points, that's what Boston can win. Yes, Kyrie showed up 25 and 7. We know he can ball. Marcus Morris showed up 20 and 7. We know he can play. Horford had 10 and 11. Tatum had 15 and 3. But the 84 points against the Indiana Pacers? No disrespect. Nate McMillan's done an incredible job this year. Much respect to him. Bogdanovich just showed up. Miles Turner is something special, but they don't got Oladipo. This is not an elite team. You have got so many All-Stars in this team. Rising stars, current stars, superstar Kyrie Irving. This is a championship team. There's no excuse. I don't know what Brad Stevens is going to do. Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Portland Trailblazers. Portland won 104-99. I'm telling you guys, Billy Donovan will be moved if they don't win this series. Plain and simple. Paul George is struggling. I know he's got something off with that shoulder. 8 for 24 shooting. Yes, he finished with 26, 10, and 4 steals. Whitford had a 24-point triple-double. Steven Adams had 17 and 9. Big-time game. Markieff Morris, a little disappointing. I just don't understand with the rotation. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of what Billy Donovan has going right there. Lillard, 30 points and 3 steals, 4 and 4, rebounds and assists. Cantor had 2018. He's showing up big time. McCollum, 24, 6 and 3. They might be advancing, folks, without Nurkic. That's scary to think. I don't even really want to get into this thing, but we got to talk about it. Detroit, Milwaukee. No Blake Griffin. Drummond gets ejected. 121-86. Milwaukee's coming. No Malcolm Brogdon. They showed me wrong. They're coming. There is no denying it. Milwaukee is on the rise, and if Philly can't get stuff together, I don't even care. If they don't even get stuff together, Milwaukee's out of Malcolm Brogdon. They got Giannis. He's dunking from the free throw line in games. You're not going to stop that. A free throw line dunking games? No. 24-17 rebounds and 4 assists for Giannis. 16 for George Hill. Lopez and Middleton both contributed with 14. Bledsoe 15, 3, and 5. Pat Connaughton's been showing up with 10 and 8. Sterling Brown had an all-around stat stuffing game. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and a big-time block. They're coming. Andre Drummond had 12 and 12. Luke Kennard showing up, though. 21 points and 4 assists, or 4 rebounds, 8 for 14 shooting, 4 or 5 from 3. He's got too much slack because he got traded back and was picked in front of Donovan Mitchell, but he's got talent. The kid's coming. I like the kid. Now, Utah versus Houston was big-time disappointing to me. Utah loses 90 to 122 to Houston. Harden's done with this curse thing. He's got 29, 8, and 10. Two big showing by the MVP candidates this year. Gordon 17, Capella had 16 and 12 double-double. CP3 14, 3, and 7. Daniel House for Reed and Tugger all finished with 11 points. Utah had Gobert had 22 points, 12 rebounds. Donovan had 19. Rubio had 15, 5, and 6. I don't know what happened, folks. I believe Favors also had double figures, 11 and 7. I don't understand how that happened. Quinn Snyder let that game go away. They need to get back in the lab, figure it out, and go back and get a win before they get back to Utah. That's what I say. This is the playoffs. Starts tomorrow again. Brooklyn versus Philly. Clippers versus Golden State on TNT, 5 and 7:30 respectively. Get ready. The playoffs are real. I'm hyped. Hopefully we can get another good games tomorrow, unlike today's game, besides the Oklahoma and Portland game. Let's see what's going down, folks. I know you guys love the special guests. I know you guys love my topics. But I know the fan favorite and what everyone always loves is SchuZ Zone, where I'm going to get into all the topics I believe the media should pick up more on. Or, this time, I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple of my theories that might be occurring. Stay tuned for SchuZ Zone. I'm locked in. Get locked in as well. Alright, let's get right into it. SchuZ Zone, first topic, is the only real controversial topic I want to talk about from this first week of the playoffs. And this is Amir Johnson being fined for being on his phone in games. I understand it's against the rules. You shouldn't be on your phone. I never understand it's a distraction, but we all know players are on it. Just as Draymond Green said, I don't agree with him a lot, but he said this, and I quote, "Don't you guys all check your phones during work?" I completely agree. He was checking it to see about his sick daughter. If it's true or not, I don't know. The point is, what is the big deal? He's not playing games. He's on it for about 5 seconds. Just because he got caught on the camera, we know tons of players are on it. There is no big deal. Yes, he took responsibility because he's a team leader, but this is ridiculous. No, they were down already. It was being made way more of a big deal than it ever had been made of. It was absolutely ridiculous. Stop about it. I don't care. He got fined. Put it aside. It's over. He won't do it again, but we all know players are on the phones during games. We've caught it many times. It is fine. It's ridiculous. I didn't know they have that rule. Apparently they do. Oh well. But here we go. Of course, I've touched upon this before. Who is the GOAT? MJ or LeBron James is what a lot of people come down to. My take? I do believe that Michael Jordan is the GOAT right now. Because of the fact that LeBron did not make the playoffs this year, especially. And of course, you had to wait till they're out of the league and then you truly see who was the GOAT. But here's my theory I want to talk about. In my opinion, when it comes to many things, if it's music artists, rap artists, of course, athletes, so on and so on, as a young person, you obviously feel that person, that your parents of the older generation, is influencing you into who everyone from that generation has to be the best. I mean, think about it. In terms of rap, it's Tupac and Biggie. In terms of athletes, in terms of NBA, it's MJ. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all-time greats. Football is John Elway. Tom Brady might have passed that respect. But this controversy can go down on and on. And how about our parents? They might only know of guys like Kareem and Bill Russell. So that being said, I've thought about it. Why exactly is that the case? Why is there never guys that are our age, our generation, that's the top players, top music artists, so on? What I came to the conclusion is this. I truly do believe that once we are adults, yeah, for us, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, those kind of guys will be the top rappers. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Embiid, those kind of guys might be the great. Curry will be some of the great players of our time. And the list goes on, so on and so on. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, so on. The list will continue and continue. But here's what I gotta say. I believe that MJ is more appreciated because people had to work the hardest to go watch him. Today you see LeBron do a dunk and it goes viral. For me, let me be honest, I've never watched LeBron James live in a game. I've watched many games. I've gone to Suns games many times. I've gone to NCAA games. I've gone to so many types of games. I personally, to be honest, have never watched LeBron James play in real life. in real action live in front of me. Of course, I watch him on TV, but I mean at an NBA game. But I still know all about him, all about his stats, all about his dunks, all about his highlight plays. Now, why might that be? Because he has the technology. MJ did not have Instagram, didn't have all this stuff. Yes, he had starting having TV and all that, but still wasn't everyone. Not everyone could afford TV. Not everyone could watch it. You had to go to a bar. It wasn't as accessible. Not even close. So, this is my opinion. When you work for something, and you truly grind through an assignment, through a work project, through whatever it may be, a marathon, whatever it may be, you come out with an outcome and a mindset of you feel accomplished. And there is no denying that. The harder you work for something and when you get the result you want, you feel a complete pride that is hard to even comprehend. It's that God-given feeling. It's a terrific feeling. So people had to work the hard-earned money to go pay for games to go watch Michael Jordan play. Or find a way to get the television to be able to watch the game. As for LeBron James, it's easy. Anyone can afford it. From the poorest of poor to overseas people to the richest of rich, everyone can afford to watch LeBron James play, along with every other great. That being said, that is why I think that Michael Jordan gets talked about more and more. Yes, we can go into this more and more. I do believe that Michael Jordan probably is the greatest player, just because of the fact that, once again, he has more rings. He is dominant. But that's what I'm going to say. Yes, we could go on forever, and there's always debates about who's better. But that is my opinion. Both the fact of technology and the fact that whoever the last generation is, theirs must be the best because that's when their prime was. That's what they wanted. Everyone wants to win the debate and think that their time was the greatest time. There's no denying that. I will be the very same thing once again. Last part of SchuZ Zone is this. I have a feeling. We all know someone like Dirk's not coming back. No. He's old. Vince Carter, once he retires, he's retiring. You guys remember Ray Allen? When he first retired, a lot of people had the feeling he could still play. Even this year, we had Houston calling him, and people had the rumors, will he join Houston? Because he can play, and he's not too old. You guys remember Michael Jordan? He came back out of retirement. Lots of cases of this. This got me thinking. There's a man that retired. You guys know my respect for him. Much love to Dwayne Wade. I have a very special autographed jersey stuff from him. He's a very special player, one of my favorite all time. Watching him play, this man does not look like he needs to retire whatsoever. He's a family man. I'm excited. He's going to train Zaire and watch out for Zaire Wade. He's coming. He wants to be with his newborn. He wants to be with his family. But he's going to miss the sport. Oh, he's going to miss it. That also being said, guess MJ came back to play with Washington as well. Dwayne Wade's coming back to Miami. My take. Not this year, no. Give him a year off, maybe even 2 years. He's not going to get out of shape. No, he's Dwayne Wade. He's not getting out of shape. What he is going to do, though, is he's going to come ready. He's not going to play a whole season. He might come back for the end of the season, second half of the season. But you know what I think? There's a man named LeBron James. You guys might know. Of course you do. LeBron James will finish his contract up in LA in 3 years. We all know Bronny's available. Miami will be tanking. I would not be shocked to see LeBron James join Dwayne Wade in Miami to end their career. End LeBron James' career with Dwayne Wade having fun. Maybe Chris Paul joins them, but also Bronny might join them out there. The timeline adds up. 3 years. Dwayne Wade come back. Bronny's starting to come in about 4 or 5 years. Maybe he can come right out of that high school. We will see what happens here. That's my take. I believe Dwayne Wade will be coming back to play with LeBron James in Miami once again. This is not the end of Dwayne Wade. That's my take. SchuZ Zone is over. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Come back next week for more SchuZ Zone. I hope that everyone loved today's show, but that does in fact include the 7th episode of SchuZ Views. To get involved in SchuZ Views or to stay up to date, go and follow my Instagram, Twitter, or like my Facebook page at Zach Shoemaker, or subscribe to my YouTube channel at Zach Shoemaker SchuZ Views. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my podcast on iTunes or whatever platform you may be listening to. Please leave a 5-star review and or leave a comment. Also, I do not have my Instagram Live TV set up. Please go and check out my nightly NBA recaps, and I promise you guys will not be disappointed. They also will be on Facebook and Twitter. Now I cannot wait to see you guys next week, as I will be joined by top basketball and football prospect Jason Harris. I am your host, Zach Shoemaker, and I'm out. God bless.